Yeah. Good. Right. This is Talking Utter Slot, the podcast about buying, collecting, and occasionally racing slot cars. Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm Scott, a retired old car guy who never stopped playing with toy cars, and here's my co-host, another retired old guy who buys too much paint. It's
Pedro.
This week, we look at how two rights make a wrong, namely the pink livery on the wrong kind of 917 from NSR. We discover Pedro has a liking for yet more rally cars, and we learn how Scott, that's me, talking in the third person about myself. We learn how my careful bargain buying on eBay has been negated by a moment's foolishness.
A moment of foolishness. Don't tell me you have succumbed, you weak-willed man. You've bought a Shadow, haven't you?
No, but good guess. No, it's worse.
You're going to do it.
It's worse than that. In fact, this has cost me more than a Shadow.
What? More than 82 quid?
And it's cost me a Shadow and a Polycar Ferrari. So the background to this is, I was out on Friday. Well, the big background is regular listeners. We love you. Regular listeners will know
all three of them.
I've been buying cars on eBay for great prices for me, not for the sellers. I'm really sorry, but they've come to a good home. So, namely, Ninko DTMs and an AUTOart, which have cost me roughly, on average, about 10 quid. So it's been a good week, and I'm very chuffed. And these were mint box, almost brand new models. So I'm thinking, go me, saved a fortune. Anyway, I was out with a friend who runs a truck, basically. He runs a truck. And we were out in the afternoon doing some of his jobs. We were nattering away and we were getting close to home. And we were a little queue of traffic. And the guy in front was towing a boat. And his light board with his tail lights and his registration plate had come loose and it was dragging at one side. And we thought, this is dangerous. It'll fall off and it'll cause an accident. So we better warn him. And so I said, I'll leap out and do it. So I jumped out the truck, ran ahead, warned the man, thank you, all that stuff, jumped back in. We then turned the corner and I went, oh, my phone, where's my phone? And I realised that I had jumped out the truck and I dropped my phone. And I hadn't just dropped my phone, the truck had driven over my phone. So to fix it or to replace it is going to cost me about 150 quid, which is the same as an MR Shadow and a Polycar Ferrari. So there you go.
Now we get to the point. I wondered where a delightful little vignette of your life. I was thinking, you did not mention this in the preamble, and I was thinking, oh, he's off on one. He's finally lost it. He's finally just telling us stuff about his life.
It's do you know how I equate? Basically, I look at everything and how many slot cars I could buy.
Yes, I thought that. I understood that bit. But then you were suddenly off with Jim in the truck. And I need to just check with you. Is it a truck or is it a hauler?
Oh, well, he's very not American, so it's a truck.
It's a truck. Right. But does he do haulage or does he do logistics?
No, he doesn't. He does sort of recovery and distribution, as it were. So he basically puts a car on the back and he takes it from one place to the other. And haulage. That car could be not really. No, it's not haulage. It's not long distance stuff. And so it can be as interesting as a classic Ferrari. Like one day I went with them and it was a Daytona race car, which was lovely to just be able to look it up closely. Whereas last week it was the inevitable Land Rover.
That's unfair.
And well, not really. We drove to a Land Rover repair specialist, not a dealer, an independent repair specialist. And the small provincial town that we drove round in southern England had 3 such outfits in its suburbs, which tells you a lot about how reliable Land Rovers are. But never mind.
Scott, the 2 Americans, the 1 Canadian, the guy in Scandinavia somewhere, they pay their subscriptions to hear
slot cars.
About slot cars.
Okay.
So what caught your eye, Scott?
Oh, that's difficult.
Was it the pink pig?
The pig. Well, no, that did more than catch my eye. That
stuck a mote right in your eye.
It was like pins in my eye.
Yeah.
So I'm all for a fake livery.
No.
Not all of them. They're not necessarily for me, but fine. I don't really mind. I'd rather you didn't. As long as you do the real liveries as well, that's good. But what got me about this was, and the reason I say it's two rights making a wrong, I nearly got that the wrong way around, didn't I? Two rights. So Porsche 917s, always right. Pink pig livery on the pink pig, right. Porsche themselves putting the pink pig livery on one of their GT3 cars as a commemorative thing, because they also did the Rothmans livery and the Brumos livery, etc. Fine, they can do it. It's their thing. But a slot car manufacturer putting the pink pig livery on another car,
that outrageous slot car manufacturer claiming that it's part of their historic line of cars what made motorsport is just outrage on outrage.
You've got it. It's. I'm trying to think of an instantly witty and illustrative example, and I can't think of one. But so I don't know. It's like putting Henry VIII in a red wig and calling it Elizabeth I or something. I don't know.
That just lost us the Scandinavian, the two Americans, and the imaginary creator. They're just like, what?
No, they love
a History Channel.
They love royals. They love
First
the royals.
Off, he's on about his lorry driving. Then he's off about the Elizabethans. The thing is, the 917. You say 917, good thing, but
it's always a good thing.
Well, yes and no. Isn't the
genuine
NSR,
icon?
Well, yeah, but isn't the NSR 917 off in its headlight arrangement?
Oh, I haven't got one, so I have to caveat that. I've got lots of Fly 917s, which I like. I haven't got an NSR one. I haven't got any NSR cars.
What?
No, I have no NSR cars.
What?
Because I've got.
What?
He's very old and his hearing's not very good.
What? Oh. You haven't got any NSR cars? Man, you need to educate yourself.
Well, I haven't got any Velosaurs either. But, to bring up my favourite.
That's fair enough.
Well, you see, No, I haven't got any NSRs, and I gather they're pretty good at racing. What they're not pretty good at is accuracy, be it shape or livery application.
No, this is true. And we ran NSR Classics, so that's the Sidewinder ones, at Oxford last week as our support race. And they are wonderful to race. They're great machines, but they're not great models. And this is also true of their GT3s. Their GT3s in the angle winder style are smooth, fast, lovely. You can trust them. They're great fun, but they are just not great models. And as soon as they start putting decals for headlights on, then they lose me completely. But I have to confess, I did enjoy racing the NSR Classics, not the least because I believe, I need to check my facts here, but I think I came second.
Oh,
and that young man is on top of, we raced Sideways GT3 first, and I won.
Do you know, I want to, where are we? We are several minutes into the, and you've held back mentioning that you won something. Well done.
Yeah. Well, I don't like to boast, but,
much.
Listen, when it happens, I need to shout about it from the rooftops because it doesn't happen very often.
Okay, good. I get that. Just to pick up on the point that you race, therefore your appreciation of NSR is high. But you point
race,
out they're not...
therefore I am. Isn't that Shakespeare?
Oh, no.
Descartes, sorry. It was Shakespeare or Descartes, I can't remember which. One of them was a French philosopher.
Some philosopher or other.
Yeah.
Suddenly there's a Monty Python song in my head and I won't sing it. But not that one, no.
Oh, okay.
The philosopher song. You are familiar with the philosopher song?
Yeah.
And the rhyme for Descartes? No?
Yeah.
Heidegger was... Oh, okay. Anyway, look... I'll give you something to look up. But NSR, you race cars, so a car which is good for racing, you have an appreciation of. It's not such a good model. And when I hold up to the camera, and I will describe what I'm holding up. But listen,
why don't I describe it? You hold it, I'll describe it. Ah, put it away, man. Put it away. That's horrible. He's holding up an AUTOart Carrera GT Porsche, which is an awful car, and it's an awful model of an awful car, and the passenger in it looks petrified.
Well, she is quite stiff, but the as in petrified like stone. This is indeed an AUTOart Carrera GT, which is a beautiful model. This is one of my eBay bargains, which I think is brand new. Certainly doesn't look like it's been run. It goes very quickly. The lap time is pretty good because the tires are quite sticky, simply. I mean, it grips like I don't know what. And I have taken the magnet out. But
whoa, get you and your tuning.
Yeah, well, no, that's not really tuning. And it's an absolutely gorgeous model. And this has been bringing me a lot of joy since it arrived the other day. And just watching it go around the track, I feel happy.
Who am I to rain on your parade, Scott? If you're happy with that, then obviously you're very easily pleased, and I shouldn't, poke holes in it. But I just cannot. I didn't. AUTOart, they arrived with a bang. I thought they were going to be great. I dreamt of Skyline R32s and all sorts of liveries, and then they just disappeared.
Well, I think
having delivered nothing but crappy show cars. I think
what I'd like to see is they did rally cars. They did some very nice rally cars. But I think that just shows that they were they were ahead of their time. They were underappreciated, except by connoisseurs that like what I am. That's what. But
I think here's my theory on AUTOart. I think they just thought, we're doing pretty well with the die-cast malarkey. We need a bit more profit. Let's open up a new revenue stream and let's absolutely take over the Scalextric market. And they found that it wasn't that easy. And so they ran away and hid. Like the cowards they are.
You may be right. That's a hypothesis, of course. I would suggest, and I have no evidence for this, but maybe what happened is that they came in just at the moment that the slot car market was, let's use a polite word for it, collapsing, and that the volumes of sales just dried up. And therefore, I would imagine the tooling and the finishing, the cost of producing a model with this level of finish is pretty high, I would have thought. So anyway, well, I'm glad they've got them. I've got several, so I'm happy. Anyway, what caught your eye, young man?
Hang on. Is that snigger about the whole question of what caught my eye, or the reference to my age?
You're relatively young.
Yeah, do you notice I shaved?
Oh.
Yeah.
I knew there was something different.
Yeah, I shaved. This is because I was... I'll get to what caught my eye.
Are you due a lineup or something? Is that Are you in an ID parade?
I thought I'd disguise myself by shaving off the beard. No, I was doing some spraying. I've done a lot of spraying this weekend, and I've got very frustrated with it. And I was also breathing in a lot of fumes, and I realised that my beard had got to a sufficient length that it was creeping in at the sides, the vapours. So I thought, right, I've got to do this painting. I'm going to shave my beard, my stubble. So I've done that. And what caught my eye? Do you remember poo-pooing? I'm sure you do. You
I hope you finished this sentence.
Do you remember pooing? We're so old we don't remember pooing. No. Come on. You poo-pooed the AvantSlot Nissan BMW trio that were announced. You said the pictures...
Six series.
635, yeah, sorry. Yes. You said the pictures were rubbish, and I kind of agreed with you. The pictures were rubbish, but they caught the essence of the liveries. How many minutes in are we paying out on the liveries? They caught the essence of the liveries. Those cars are now, I believe, heading to the shops, and I've seen photos, and they all look quite peachy.
I agree with your ultimate conclusion. And I would defend it. It's not the picture, it was the rather crude illustrations that they issued to show what they were about to do, which I drew which drew my displeasure. The actual cars look great, and
they do, don't they? They're great
they
liveries.
look very nice. And I've got an original one, as it were, so a Spirit one.
What livery? What livery?
Gitanes.
I have that one as well. C'est bon.
Very nice.
C'est très très bon.
So
c'est joli. C'est très joli.
And if Scalextrics are listening, hi Simon, please, 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 pretty please, do the Rover Vitesse in the Gitanes livery, because it raced at Spa in that livery, and that would make me very happy.
You know he's doing that because he's already done the Capri.
Well, he's done the Capri because they sponsor the driver, don't they? So there's a link there. It may not be an innate appreciation of the joy of a blue touring car.
But that does show a preparedness to cock a snoop at the cigarette sponsorship thing.
Well, this has been an interesting development of recent, isn't it? Where we never used to get this, and there was all sorts of made-up things, but certainly Scalextric and I think some of the others have been happy to go, no, that's what it said on the real thing, that's what's going on the model.
But isn't that because they now claim those ones are models and not toys? If it's toys, I believe they're in court. But if they call it a model, then they're skipping to the chip shop next door to the court.
That sounds like indefensible semantics to me, but I'm not a lawyer. But that would be, I'm happy they're doing it. I'm happy they're doing it.
So I fully believe indefensible semantics is what the law is based on, isn't it? In all countries, all around the world.
Don't get me going. But yes, I hope so. Because I mean, things like I've got a Bastos Rover that actually says Bastos, and I've got a Marlboro BMW that says Marlboro. So Marlboro.
Did you also see, because you were excited about the fact that I appear to be a bit of a turncoat, the Nissan 240? I don't know what it is about that boxy old Nissan 240, but I really like. I think it's got that side skirts just stuck on kind of look to it. There's it hasn't been anywhere near a wind tunnel, has it?
No, I mean you're fond of a lumpy, bumpy car, aren't you? You like cars with bits that have been.
I like it lumpy and bumpy.
Randomly stuck on, albeit with sort of gaffer tape or something. And I think it's again great to see a car which hasn't been made before being done.
Yes.
And it's there's a gap in the Group B market, and that was going to fill it. So I will. Can I say I'm definitely having one? Assuming I don't have any trucks driving over my phones anymore. Then, which to be fair is entirely my fault, I should add.
Hang on, wasn't it Jim's fault? Surely Jim drove over your phone.
No. It was me thinking I'll go and leave. It wasn't even the fact that I was doing the bloke in front a good deed. I should have been more careful with my phone. But there you go. It's a bit like I shouldn't have driven over the corner of the curb the week before and necessitated buying another £150 tyre for the car. So it's not been a good week in the real world. It's been very expensive.
And things my mother, dear departed mother, God rest her soul, always used to say things come in threes. So
thanks for that.
Two up at the moment.
Thanks for that. It's only, yeah.
Probably means this recording will go pear-shaped any second now.
As long as it doesn't cost me 150 quid, I don't mind. But back to the AvantSlot Nissan. Very welcome. I'll wait to see the final. The livery that they've shown have been sort of 2 road cars, and I'm all for road cars. Cue my AUTOart Carrera, but put it away. It's just off to the side. You can't see it. I'm gazing lovingly at it. So I don't mind road cars, but I'm not going to buy one of those on a Nissan. I'll wait for the full works livery, the red, white, blue Nissan.
They've done a sterling job with the Beemer in that they've put spotlights all over the place. So there will be 240s with spotlights all over the place. I'm imagining there'll be a safari spec with a bit of a rhubar on the front.
Oh,
maybe a spare tire on the.
Wouldn't that be lovely? But I think people who plan slot cars, they sit down with all the liveries they could possibly do, and they go, "That's a must. We've got to do that one. That's definitely
the livery."
Yeah,
so they've decided the car. Now they're talking live.
They're doing the liveries, and you know what? I think they slide it down to about the 5th or later one. So they don't, because they're a bit like. Oh, I'm trying to think. What's a good example? Can't think of a good example. All of us. Well, there's the BMWs by AvantSlot. So the obvious livery for that car is the famous cutaway sort of X-ray vision of the insides of the car, the original parts one.
Motorsport
that would be the one to do. Yeah,
BMW M Sport.
To my knowledge, they're not doing that. I mean, these liveries they're showing are nice, but they're not the one.
But are they not doing that because Spirit did? Did Spirit do that one? I think Spirit announced they were doing. I don't know if they ever did. I'm not going to lie to you. That is one of the dullest liveries I've ever seen on a Beemer.
What, the cutaway one? The original?
Yeah, I don't like that. No, I know. Stone the heretic, eh?
I don't want you to take this. You're just simply wrong. But there we go. Just live with that one. Gerhard Berger, sideways at Spa, 60s BMW, where you can sort of, yeah, absolute classic.
Well, each to his own.
Yep, indeed. Where does that go? So you're going to buy rally cars?
I have the Gitanes Spirit car, which I've got a 3D chassis on. I know. Get me. Well, the original ran so disappointingly badly that I did succumb to the 3D printing malarkey. Now it's got sort of slotted rear end. I'm not sure what the motor is in it. And as I say that, I'm suddenly thinking, I think I've got an SRC M3 motor, which would suit that down to the ground. I don't think I will make the purchase. I think I might save my pennies, and I could contemplate a 240 in the right livery, but it is a rally car, and that is kind
you're
of
going to
my faith.
You're going to need a few rally cars when you come down to Wales for the next Abergavenny slot car rally. So you better start stocking up. Which is a cue for me to remind everybody that Phil at Abergavenny Slot Rally Club.
Scott. Seamless. Can I just say what a joy it is to work with a consummate professional rather like yourself?
I think there's a compliment there. Anyway, they'd like to hear from clubs who would be interested in hosting rounds of a Slot Rally GB Championship. So get in touch with Phil at Abergavenny Slot Club.
Hey, would that count on that Snigger Hardbody Championship malarkey that's on slotforum.com? Other forums are available.
Talk about seamless. Tell us about the Hardbody Championship and where you are on the list.
So for those of you who don't know, slotforum.com is the best slot-related forum on the internet. All the others are run by a cabal of model railway enthusiasts who will, soon as, damn it, start talking 00 gauge at you. They posted up a listing of the current standings in the Hardbody Snigger Championship, and I this time, rather than just clicking on through and just not bothering with it, I actually thought, hang on, I did that polycar malarkey at Gaydon. I wonder if I'm on the list. Boom. I'm 146th in the country, matey. 146th.
Wow. I don't want to get this. How long is the list?
About 147, I believe.
Okay, and tell me something about how this is achieved. What is it?
I don't fully understand, other than it's Hardbody Snigger. If you have an event where more than 15 people are taking part, then it qualifies. The weird thing is, if I'm 146 out of 147, a fellow Oxford racer is at number one, that John Underwood, but he's done like 14 events, whereas everyone else, I think the maximum everyone else has done is about 10. So he's 4 ahead from the get-go, and I don't know how they shuffle that around to make it fairer, because I'm sure if they did, I'd probably come higher up.
Oh, indeed. Well, you basically need to get out more, don't you? I think we've covered this before.
Wow, you're not the first person to say that to me.
Instead of sat in your bedroom playing at podcasting and spraying cars with
eating
paint that you bought, eating the Cheetos
in the basement.
I don't get that reference, but anyway. Yes, I do. You've told me before. Don't repeat it on air. Don't repeat it on air. No, as a mental image, no one knows. Anyway, so the hard body implies is there a soft body championship? What's the,
well, I guess there must be for the Lexington boys.
These and other questions, and it's 50. So the Abergavenny Slot Car Rally, which what I took part in and you didn't, it had more than 15. So would it count, or is it going to be a racy thing?
I don't know if it's supposed to be a circuit thing or if a rally stage.
All right, because John Underwood was at that.
Oh, well, there you go. It probably does.
If John Underwood is who compiles the list, by the way, it isn't John
Underwood.
Okay,
it isn't.
Yeah, I'm definitely the best slot car racer in my garage. I mean, I know I've got trophies to prove it and everything. Okay, good. Well, we'll keep us. I think the listener is keen to know how you get on, moving up the list from 146. Was it?
It was well remembered.
Are you going to adopt? You know what you can do? You can use some of the. I nearly said Francis Rossi's, Valentino Rossi, because he's 48, isn't he?
But they're
46.
related, aren't they? I mean, they're the same. They're brothers, aren't they?
Is that true? That would be. Wouldn't that be great? That would be great. I've now got that. I've now suddenly got Valentino Rossi doing things with the guitar,
rocking all over the world.
Anyway, what I was going to say was you can get Rossi merchandise and you could just sort of crudely add a 1.
Yeah.
So
I'm tempted.
Anyway, I look forward to hearing how you progress up chart.
Up to chart. Well, because I enjoyed the NSR Classics that we ran last week, there is a round of the Wales and West going to be run at Oxford, and they do the Classics in the afternoon, I believe. So I am contemplating it. And so much am I contemplating it that I bought some gears. So that John Underwood was telling us how to get faster by putting gears in, and so I went and purchased some gears, and some poor bloke from the club, Matt, went to buy some gears, and I apparently had cleaned out Pendle. So I cornered the market in 32 NSR gears.
Last month it was wheel hubs, or 2 months ago it was wheel hubs. Now it's gears. Fantastic. Well, actually, talking about Pendle and talking about spare parts, you've reminded me of something, so well done. I see they are listing officially branded SCX spare parts.
Oh, really?
Now, yes. And not old stock that's been uncovered. This looks like new stuff. So tires, well, what I've seen so far is tires. Now, promisingly, there's about half a dozen on the site, and they're numbered something like 40-something, 50-something, and 18. So it suggests there's a 50-something sets of tires that could be available. Because the other thing that arrived this week was I'm holding up something else for Pedro to be rude about.
It's an orange SCX. I don't know which kind of Mercedes that is. Lord, what did you buy me?
It's a C-Class.
C-Class.
C-Class, driven by Pedro de la Rosa.
Pedro de la Rosa. My matey.
Your matey. And the tyres are very much in need of replacing. So if the SCX are doing, as it were, what would we call it in the real world? Official, what do they call it? Authentic parts. That's what it is. Rather than,
it's like what do they call that? Because Mercedes have a whole department that deals in old bits.
Heritage parts, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, that would be good. So that's an interesting thing. So good to see now. There's certainly, obviously, we've talked before about the need for those of us who've got a lot of old cars to buy a lot of new tyres. So the more and more people who are doing replacement tyres is a good thing.
Is it just tyres they're doing, or are they doing motors and other bits and bobs? Wings?
Very much an unscientific, unresearched answer to your perfectly reasonable question is I saw tyres and went, oh, tyres, and I didn't really look for anything else.
Well, you would do that, wouldn't you? Because you're quite a tyre guru.
But a guru. Pneu. There's a joke there, isn't it? If you spell PNEU, anyway.
What?
The short version of pneumatic for the French. What do the French call tires?
Le tire.
No, it begins with a P, and ends in a U. Right. So it's lost.
No, PNEUS. Is it PNEUS?
Not S. It just ends in a U, doesn't it?
Oh dear.
Pneu.
So well, and now we've just lost the French listener.
a pneu guru.
Well, when I said guru, I immediately heard T-Rex singing Metal Guru.
It's been a very heavily music reference episode because, right at the beginning, well, yeah, we were talking all sorts of songs, and there was one I let go by. You said something which was can't think what it was now, but it was a bit of a show tune, and I nearly burst into,
Mommy, how I love you, how I love you, my dear old mommy.
That's an unfortunate reference to pick up on. No, it was Rain on Parade, and so the Blessed Barbara sprang to mind, and all of a sudden it was going to be
what?
Oh, but Barbara Streisand. No one's going to rain on my parade. You mentioned raining on parade.
Not a song I'm familiar with.
Your musical education is nearly as lacking as your rally one. Anyway, enough of that. Anything else that you? What have you been doing? Painting, building. How's the home track coming?
I haven't done anything on the home track. I was planning to do so. I've spent so much goddamn time painting this car, which, as I speak, is washing because I just lost. I love Zero paints from HeroBoy.com. I love them to bits. They spray on beautifully, but I made the fatal mistake. I'd forgotten just how rubbish I find Halford's white primer is and how it won't take metallic colors particularly well. And I thought I'd persevere. I thought if I just hit it with enough coats, it'll go on properly. And initially it looked all right, but then I went for an extra coat and suddenly it just looked all wrong and I lost patience and I just thought I'm not going to recover this. So into the IPA or the ISO propyl alcohol. I have been corrected on slotforum.com. Other forums are available.
I still prefer to think of it as beer, though. I think you'd putting your cars in beer.
That idea. But I was corrected only this morning when I said I made a shameless plug for this very podcast and thought I was being funny, and lo and behold, I was not, and I was corrected myself. So I have spent a lot of time spraying paint on, only to strip paint off, and I'm going to go back to my tried and trusted grey primer, and that'll be fine and dandy, which means a long way of saying I haven't got round to fixing up my track any more than it was at least 2 weeks ago, which is a shame because I really want to get it. I want to get moving on it. Well, I've got other things happening tomorrow, so it's Wednesday is probably the first time I'll get to get my.
Well, you're gonna. It's a bit of a race between your track and my oil drip man, because having overzealously applied old paint to my oil drip man bits, and it didn't work.
You applied paint to his bits.
The bits of my oil drip man. This is a magnetic racing kit for those who haven't been listening before. Anyway, I found some old tins of paint, aerosols, modelling paint. They've got to be at least 15 years old. Anyway, they sort of worked, and I sort of sprayed as much as I could. And as is ever, impatience, I tried to put it all on at once. And it just bubbled up and it's ruined it. So it needs to be rubbed down and done again. Or plan B, I can find an image of Oil Drip Man and scale it up and print it out and just stick it on.
That would be that's a cheaty way of doing it.
I think magnetic racing ought to offer a kind of, you could paint it or you could have.
But isn't it basically just colour by numbers? I mean,
yes,
how many colours are in it?
Yeah, white, yellow, black, blue, red. Well, if I have to buy all of those as aerosols, that's about 30 quid. And suddenly I'm going, I don't want to spend 30 quid on bits of paint. I'm not like you. I don't
buy yourself a Iwata airbrush for 100 quid and then spend 6 quid a tin. A jar on paint. Should I tell you why I was using the white Halford's primer?
Why were you using white Halford's primer?
Because I dropped a can of grey Halford's primer. I dropped it on a sharp stone edge. Do you know what happens when you drop an aerosol can on a sharp? Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. No, it wasn't excellent. It was all over me. It amazingly, as it skedaddled around my patio, missed completely. I mean, at times it was within inches of my washing that was out drying on a rack. But somehow, every time it passed close, which was probably only twice, it managed to point in the opposite direction, so the paint went in the other direction. So that was the one saving thing. But so the air turned blue when I did that. I mean, the patio turned grey, but the air turned blue. I was so, and that's why I forgot my golden rule: don't use white primer. And I used the white primer, and now I'm paying the price because I've wasted hours putting some paint on that kit, and now they just have to strip it off. I'll tell you what, though, ISO, IPA, whatever you want to call it, bloody does the trick.
Can't beat a good beer.
Mm. But,
right.
Well,
What?
No.
What? But
I was just going to encourage the kids that listen, because we're influencers, Scott, you and I, and we have a responsibility to our audience who may be youngsters, and we must make sure that they don't start smoking Gitanes cigarettes, and that they don't go out and try swigging IPA. So don't do it, kids. Just say no.
Just buy slot cars instead, but not on eBay on a Sunday night, because that's when I get my bargains.
That's when he's active.
Anyway, not for a while till I replace this pigging phone. Anyway, and you've probably you don't be worried about the third thing that could go wrong now.
Yeah. I just wouldn't walk under any ladders.
I try not to walk anywhere. Right. Okay. I'll do my best. I'll just stay in. I'm going to stay in till August. That should be.
Stay in your shed with your nasty little AUTOart Carrera.
No. There's no need to be. It's lovely. It's a beautiful thing. You're just jealous. Look at it. Look. I'm holding it up again. Anyway,
they made good models. They just didn't run well, and they made too many road cars.
See, I quite like a road car, but then I've got a quad bike and a moon buggy, so you know.
I quite like cheese balls.
Right, we better say thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for commenting. Thank you for correcting Pedro's misunderstanding about beer and chemicals. And we look forward to doing this again.
Didn't St. Dave come in and correct us on something as well?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen. He didn't do a live stream on Sunday.
That's very much like when the Pope addresses the crowd, isn't it? When St. Dave does a stream, that's the same kind of thing, only different and not in Rome.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, Pedro.
Bye, Scott. So, it'll kick us out if I stop recording.